Hey everybody! It's been a while since we've done the actual lives instead of a hangout. So I actually was looking back towards the hangouts or the live streams we did, and noticed that it's been a while since I've actually gone live. So I'm sorry about that. Been crazy the past couple months. Excellent. We got Mr. Cole, Mr. Powers in the house, Mr. Francis. Thank you, sir. The jock. Bill the Jock is in the house. I did not know what a jock was. Well, I knew what a jock was to me, but not what the jock was to you, Bill, for a long time, as I explained to you. So, anyway, for all you Americans out there, it doesn't mean he's a sporty guy. Scott, Sean, excellent. Okay. I took a few notes, not quite as many as I had hoped I'd be. So we'll go through kind of my list of go-tos, and I wanted to, I kind of ran out of time this morning. I was going to ping like all the other guys. Hey, what are your cool favorite releases for the year? Like Scott's in here, Chris is in here. I'm sure we got a couple other guys that have released some awesome stuff in 23. Yeah. And also I thought it'd be fun. Think about it, but towards the end or midway through, I want to hear what your favorite release of 23 was. Like, what was your favorite things? Was it a particular live stream? Was it a product release? Doesn't have to be mine. What was it? Was it a specific feature that I added to a particular stack or something? Like, what was like one or two or three groundbreaking things for you this year? Or was it you learning something like you had a light bulb moment? Do you remember that particular light bulb moment? What was it for you? So yeah, I thought that would be fun. We can get a little bit of feedback from you guys and hear what your light bulb, Chris. Hopefully your light bulb turned on at all this year. That would have been nice. Hopefully we have hope for 24 though, Chris. We have hope for 24. Okay. Cumbre. Yep, Cumbre is a good one. Okay, well, we'll dip back probably halfway through, and we'll go through some of your favorite releases. I actually really, as I was going through, I released a ton of stuff this year, and some pretty cool stuff. I think I'm not going to go and like do a full demo of everything, right? But I figured, hey, it would be fun to kind of just go through and look at everything that was released this year. And oops, let me set up my desktop. Sorry, I had a bunch of windows open that I shouldn't have. Okay. All right, let's share here. Boom. All right. Let's bring up Safari here. Let's go to Weaver Space. So actually, there are a couple things. I've been playing around with some things, okay? And I don't know if you guys can see it, but see, I like have this little doohickey there that like puts a circle around my cursor. I don't know. Let me know if you guys like that. I think it's kind of cool. I got a couple other things. I've had them for a while. But yeah, I got this other thing that like we can like whoop, do stuff like that. But I integrated it into my Stream Deck now, so I can easily turn them on and off. So, but yeah, this is kind of a cool little doohickey for the live streams. Because I know some people, maybe it's hard to track where the mouse is maybe in the live stream. So I thought that was kind of a cool idea. Okay. Anyway, let me bring up my list. First off, we're going to go over like new launches, new products that came out this year. Okay. And so first off, we're going to go to Layers. Okay. That was released back in May. And why does play come up when Layers? Interesting. Okay. So yeah, Layers is a cool one. It just lets you build a lot of interesting layered layouts. Right now, I'll admit you could do a lot of this stuff there's a lot of different ways to skin this cat. Right. Like you could build this with F6 and swatches. You really could. But Layers is just the quick and dirty way to get some of these layouts done. Right. So cool overlapping layouts. layers just kind of makes that easy. Okay. Yes, you could do it with target. You could do it with position swatches. You could, but layers is just convenient and it makes things super easy to do. You can have stacks or images, all kinds of stuff in the background. So layers, that was a cool one. I actually had a lot of people asking that because if you didn't know, on the Weaver Space start page, this page here was built using layers. And I'd been asked for years how I built this web page. So it was layers was one of those things of I need to ship this eventually, you know? And so I finally shipped that for you guys. Next up is actually an interesting one. It's definitely not a highly used stack, but I released version 2 of this, okay, this year. Compass. And what Compass allows you to do, what? Oh no, is Compass, oops. Oh no, I gotta turn that off. That's annoying. Okay. Demo. I need to fix that. Where is the Compass demo? Uh-oh. I don't have a Compass demo? That is... What? That's my... What the heck? That is weird. Something's funky there. I'm not going to debug that out, even though I really, 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 really want to. That shocked me. Okay. Wow. I'll definitely have to figure this out. Actually, I think, Massimo has this review here. Massimo, if you're watching, how you doing? And actually, I think he was a lot of the inspiration for version 2. He had asked for some features, and I was like, man, adding those features will be like a complete rewrite. So I completely rewrote it and redid it. And it really bothers me that the demo isn't working. But anyway, it does a couple things. It allows you to have like next and previous. So you could do like timelines based on web pages, right? And it also integrates directly with blog, which was one of the really big features of this, right? So you could easily integrate with blog. So anyway, the blog, a lot of people want the ability to like have next and previous blog posts, links inside of a blog post page. So, and that feature isn't baked into Total CMS. So Compass gives that to you. So that was one of the major features of this was Total CMS integration. It also has a lot of really cool stuff baked into like building out your list of pages to link to next and previous and stuff like that. So it's a lot more intelligent than the previous version. And it really bothers me that this demo, I'm going to blame Chris, because I'm sure it was him, because this page is orange, Chris. And, I thought orange was the way to go, but apparently it's not. I'm going to have to change this from orange now. All right. Next up. Oh, Chris says it needs to be more oh, that was the problem. It's not orange enough. That's why the demo doesn't work. Got it, Chris. Got it. Okay. Next up is actually a really cool one. Okay. And it is, as you know, Feeds is a super awesome stack. Okay. And so I released a new pack for it this year, the Feeds Files pack. And I didn't think it was going to be as cool as it is until I made it. Okay. And I'm really stoked with it. And there. Okay. Whew. I was like, what? There's no demo? Okay. And it allows you to build like interactive. Well, the demo has like a file browser, right? And what's kind of cool is here you can actually drill into folders. Okay. And you can see, and you can go back. So you can build like an interactive file browser directly with Feeds files, which is really, really cool. Okay. So you can even make it look like Finder, or you can have it more of like a grid-based layout, right? Let me make this a little smaller because I increased my screen resolution. Now these look ginormous. So here's a Feeds, and drill into these, right? And so as you see it, you can actually display the files, right? So here I'm actually going and, kind of making it interactive, which you can, but you can just, if you have a grid of images, or I know someone was using this to display, he had a folder full of PDFs and he was just looping, using Feeds files to display all those PDFs on his webpage, right? Using PDF embed. And so, yeah, that worked great. And so there's a lot of really awesome, nifty integrations that people have built using Feeds files. Okay. And I know the demo just shows you a file browser, but if you think a little bit outside the box, it just loops through all the files on your system. You can build logic based on it. Like here, if it's a folder, I, show the folder icon. Else, if it's an image, I display the actual image. And you can say, if it's a PDF, display the PDF, right? So you can make it a very, not only interactive, but, interesting page that dynamically changes based on the what types of files you have in a folder on your server. So super flexible. Oh, here's an example of PDF embed. And there we go. There's an embedded PDF. Pretty cool. So yeah, Feeds files is awesome. We'll go into some of the awesome Feeds updates that happened this year too. There are some really cool Feeds updates this year. Next up is GeoTarget. This is a version 2, okay, of GeoTarget. And GeoTarget, if you didn't know, it allows you to customize the content of your webpage based on the location of the visitor, okay? Now, if you used older versions of GeoTarget, what you might know, or maybe you didn't know, is it actually queried an online database. Okay, so there's an online database of IP information, and it queried for the location of those. And so one of the big updates with version 2 was that the database now resides on your server, which is cool because that makes page loads like super fast now. It's like insanely faster than version 1. Now, I have been releasing routine updates to Target to update that database. Okay, I'm actually probably due for one. So that's a reminder that I need to ship out an update probably this week for GeoTarget just to update that database. Okay, so you can publish and you have all the latest database information on your server. Okay, and so yeah, depending on where you are in the world, like you'll see a different message here, right? So if you're in the US, you see this. But and then if you're outside of the US, you see a different message. Okay, so GeoTarget's really cool. And again, the big one here is that the database, everything is on your server now. Nothing ever reaches outside outside your server. So for GDPR and all that information, right? Especially in Europe, you guys, GDPR in Germany you have DSVGO. I always forget the order. I always want to say SVG, but I think it's DVSG or something like that. Okay. So yeah, all those privacy acronyms, this will save you because everything is local on your server. Nothing ever goes out. Cool stuff there. Okay. Now this one was a treat, because I accidentally shipped it as a free update to everybody. Lines version 2. So I shipped version 2 this year, and I accidentally shipped it as a free update to all existing Lines users. So that was a little present. If you have Lines 1, you should have automatically got Lines 2. And it's just styled fancy dividers, okay? So you see like gradient ones. We have my little characters in the demo are getting smushed. We'll have to fix that. And vertical lines and stuff, like vertical lines between columns and whatnot, right? So, yeah, it's a nice little update. It's, a cheap stack that does what it says on the tin. It creates, styled lines and dividers on your webpage. So, check it out. Lines. And it was a free update for everyone that had it. This is one of my latest ones is Measure. Okay, if you don't have Measure is a slick way to measure things on your webpage. Okay, and it's got some nifty little features, like if you double click to hide. Actually, I got some high praise the other day on someone really loved this double click to hide feature because he was having them all over the page. And then it also comes with a device viewer, right? So this device viewer is pretty slick. As you know, what birthed the device viewer was Apple removing and completely demolishing responsive view mode in Safari. So my response to that was I built my own. Okay. And yeah, it's actually really cool. I like it a lot. There is a bug in Safari where each individual one opens in a new window. That kind of bugs me. Come on, Safari. But in Chrome and Firefox, it just morphs the existing window. But you can have multiple windows open, and yeah, it's really cool. I dig the device viewer. If you didn't know, if you click on this, you can see all of the latest devices, Android and iOS. So you can see exactly like what something looks like on a Pixel 2. And there we go. Oh, that was a Pixel 4. Right? So, yeah. It's a good one. Let's see. Next up is probably one of the bigger releases this year, okay, was Moving Box 3. So, huge update to Moving Box. I'm not going to even try to dive into all the features. If you want a slider, Moving Box is the one you want. Okay. It is the best, I think, most versatile, general purpose slider out there. Some of its favorite features of version 3 is the new animation features. So as you see, we can animate stuff as we change slides. The slider syncing is really cool. I added some new timer stuff in version 3. The slider syncing isn't new, but that is definitely a very cool feature of Moving Box 3. And then there's a bunch of new. Oh, and look where it happened to all my images in my demos. Man, my demos are just. I'm finding all kinds of issues. The slides are there. Oh, the videos are there. Not sure what's going on with these images though. I'll have to look into that. Man, Chris, did you get on my server or something, Chris? Jesus. Okay. So right, Moving Box, I think it is. If you have to pick one slider, get Moving Box. Okay, it definitely is extremely versatile and powerful. Right. I have a lot of other sliders, and they're like, well, why do you have other sliders, Joe, if Moving Box is the best? Well, the other sliders have some other features that you might need. Impact has a different sort of feel to it. Tabulous has like a tabbed container, right? Gyro has this like little ribbon thing and a completely different type of style of animation. So, I mean, and if you like those, for your fit, right, it works, right? But I think for a general purpose slider, Moving Box, it's hard to beat it. Okay. Next up, Parallax. I was actually really happy with this update because this is version 2 and it was a paid upgrade. And yeah, I just think the version 1 used a different parallax library effect. This version uses this same library as Drift Pro, which I shipped last year. Okay. Which actually have some interesting, cool ideas for Drift in 24. Okay. I won't even go into that right now, but, I just think the animations are like 1,000 times smoother in this version. So if you need parallax effects on your site for backgrounds or things kind of coming in, as you scroll up and down the page, check that out. Okay. It's a good one. Another one that Play was released. That was relatively. When did I ship Play? That was in June. Man, time flies. I thought it was like August. So this player that's on my webpage that has that cool animation, right? Super slick, right? Yeah, that's Play. Okay, people have been wanting this for years as well. They're like, what video player are you using on Weaverspace or on the emailstacks.com? Like, because the animation of the thumbnail is, I could sit here and play with this animation like all day. It's just super cool, right? So yeah, that was Play. That was another one I finally shipped this year. It's got some really cool integrations with other stacks as well. So yeah, check it out. Share It. Share It was another one that was fun. I think it was kind of due for an update because, sharing over the past few years has changed a lot with all those social networks. We have Twitter's now X, and some of the other ones that were in there, like were Google Plus and app.net, right? So those are all different. And we also now live in a world of ad blockers. And so, traditionally share stuff gets blocked by ad blockers, and it doesn't by ShareIt. So I added every possible network that you could want, even ones that are still kind of being built, and like Threads, for example, is relatively new, right? So yeah, if you want to either use this to launch or share a web page on your local or link to your social profiles and stuff like that, it's a good one. Okay, it also has share sheets built in. Oops. It also does Mastodon, which is slick. Okay, I thought I added share sheets. Oh yeah, it does share sheets as well. Super easy, right? So you can click on this and you can share this particular image or share a post to anything, which is cool. Okay, so yeah, ShareIt is a fun one. I let me just make a quick note. This little saddle. So this is a part I call it satellite. ShareIt satellites. That is so cool. Just how you can have any number of circles and they fan out. I've probably said this a lot of times. So for those of you who heard me say this, I had to relearn trigonometry to build this. And I completely rebuilt it and made it better for version 3. So yeah, this is one of my favorite little doohickeys, just this little, and they kind of fan out and pop. Man, that is just slick. Absolutely slick. I really love it. Super cool. Okay, sweet. All right, cool. That had to do those. So those are all the new products, or paid upgrades, right? The new products this year. That was a lot. How many? Let's see. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I did have one more. I don't have a product page for it. I did a pre-launch of Bento, Bento, whatever way you pronounce it, potato. Okay, that will be officially launched next month. It is ready. I have one more upgrade for Bento users. Okay, hopefully before the new year. So yeah, just to kind of smooth the edges for the final release. Okay. And I don't even have a demo page to show that off. But that will be, if you're not familiar with what Bento is, I'm pretty sure most of you that are watching live are familiar. It's this grid here, right? As well as others, right? So that grid, as well as this grid here on the homepage, that's what Bento is based off of. Okay. All right, really quick. That took me a little longer than I anticipated it to. Some of my favorite updates for the year. So here's some. Let's look at Agent really quick. Sorry, I'm just gonna look through some of my release notes here. Was it? Nah, that one wasn't. I mean, that was a cool update, but let's see. Feeds had a lot of growth in 23. Okay. So I added a bunch of new filter options. As you know, you can filter out content, and so we added a bunch of filter content, ways of filtering your content out, which is super slick. In version 1.5, I added a lot of integrations with Total CMS. Okay, so you can query for things like categories in the blogs, and basically it kind of turned feeds into what blog list is, right? To some extent. So it makes, I've actually built out a couple projects. My son was building a Total CMS integration for some team management, and we decided to use Feeds to build the layout instead of blog list, just because Feeds is really good. And the integration that it has with Total CMS blog is makes it very easy to do. Okay, I think here's a cool one. Actually, we'll dive into this one a little bit, because I'm not sure everyone realizes this cool feature. Okay, and it's the new Feeds preload stack. Let's open up a project really quick. I've been watching the chat. Is there anything? Hey, Dave, thanks for coming in. Franco, excellent. Why am I not sharp as usual? I don't know. Am I not sharp? I don't know. Could be YouTube. I don't know. My output settings, I haven't changed anything. I should be outputting in full HD. Not quite sure why I'm blurry. Maybe you had too much brandy and eggnog, Sean. Maybe you're tipping the drink too much, Sean. I don't know. Hey, Jody's here. Okay. Excellent. So some people it's sharp, some people it's not. I think some people drank more than others. So, there we go. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh, preloading CS feeds. Okay, let's find an example that would. Let's just take this example. I have no idea what this demo is. Doesn't really matter. Okay. This feeds brings in a JSON file. Okay. Now, I know there are some times on a page where you might need to bring in the same feed multiple times. Okay. Let's say I wanted this layout, and then further down on my page, I wanted a different layout with the same feed, but I wanted to build something different. Oops. Sorry about that. Maybe it has different filters or different layouts or whatever, right? But the data that you're bringing in is the same. Okay. Now, prior to 1.6, I think this was 1.6, you would load, the JSON feed each time. And essentially you're loading the data twice. So you're being a little inefficient. Okay. So what we have now is preload feed. Okay. And so when you set preload feed, what you get to do is you give it a feed ID. Hold on one second. I built this, and now I data path feed ID. Maybe, I know what it was. There it is. Okay. So sorry about that. What you want to do is here you do feed, you add a feeds preload stack, and then you add in all your feeds here. So in this case, what I would do is I would move this JSON one up here. Okay. And then I'd give this a preload ID. Okay. So basically I'm loading the feed up on the top. I'm centrally loading it. And then inside my feed stack, you would then preload that feed, right? So at this point, my data is loaded once, and then this loads in data from that feed, and this stack also loads data from that feed, right? So yeah, sorry, I forgot how that was implemented for a second. So there we go. Again, feeds preload, and you can add multiple feeds, and you can even add some sort and filtering. And if you wanted to, you can then sort and filter differently on each individual feed stack. Okay. So yeah, feeds preload was actually a really huge game changer for some web pages that were loading, let's say, large database queries multiple times, or loading a lot of total CMS data multiple times on the page. This just makes things a lot faster. Okay. Let's see. Then we had 1.7. What was all the Twig helper stuff. That was really cool. We'll dive into that too. More Twig stuff. I added a bunch of Twig stuff, and support for the review stack. If you guys don't know Scott's review stack, there we go. If you want sweet managed reviews on your website, check out Stacks Review from stacksappstacks.com. Okay. Let's look at in my demo file here. I actually do something. Let's see. Is it one of these? Uh-oh. I just crashed. Man, can't wait for 24. Cannot wait for 2024. Oh, it's open back over here. All right, there we go. Which one of these layouts was I using twig stuff in it? Here we go. Here's one. Okay. So in this particular layout, in some of my videos, I use a stack called HTML wrap, which is part of my starter pack. So it is a free stack. And basically you can write out your twig stuff. Now, I realize this is cool, but it also can be confusing for some people having to learn this syntax, right? So in feeds, what we now have access to, I clicked the wrong one. We want this one. I now have a couple twig helper stacks here. So we have a cheat sheet as well as a for loop and an if condition. Okay, so for example, I'm going to use this for loop, and essentially, basically, I could use this for loop instead of this HTML wrap, right? And I can say here, if I could do for tag in tags, instead I could just do for tag in tags. Okay, and at that point, it's just the same, right? So now, basically, this is now using the twig for loop instead of the HTML wrap, right? So it's just a little helper for people that I forget the looping syntax, right, in Twig. So there we go. And same thing, we have, I clicked on the wrong one again. Appear, Twig, if condition, right? So you can do things like, if this value equals, blah, 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 right? So you can do some if conditions. And it's kind of cool. You can do else if and else and all kinds of stuff. So it's a sweet little stack to help you build some logic into your layouts. Okay. So that was some of the cool updates with feeds. Let's dive into some of the awesome stuff that came into Foundation. Okay. We had a lot of cool stuff in Foundation this year, actually, too. So we have native share sheets now. Right. So all you have to do is add a share sheet class to anything. Okay. I think I have a demo of that on, let's see, Foundation, stacks.com demo. I know I added a demo somewhere. Here's navigation. It doesn't require the swatch pack. I know that. Let's go to navigation buttons. Oh, it'd probably be under buttons. Oh, share sheet. Here, I knew I added it somewhere. So yeah, there we go. And while this demo is for buttons, okay, you can add that class to anything you want. Okay. So there we go. I did show this earlier. The share it stack has this, makes it super simple. But it is, the share sheet feature, only is built into, Foundation 6. So that's nice. If you didn't know that shipped, we got that. Okay. Let's see. 13. So a couple new stacks that were shipped that you might have missed in Foundation 6. They are inside the code, Foundation 6 code. Okay. And they're if preview and if publish. And what this does is it allows you to, whatever on the if preview, whatever's inside of there will only be visible in preview. Okay. And the if publish, obviously that means anything added to here will only be visible on publish. Okay. So a couple, useful stacks that, for certain situations where you're like, I only want to show this on publish, or I only want to show it in preview. Useful. Okay. Let's see, version 6.14. Oh, this one got bit. Oh, this was the big update where Foundation went on a huge diet. I'm not going to go through this was actually a really big update. Watch the video on this one. I go through all the various performance stuff. Foundation, the theme, it was the biggest update the theme has ever gotten. So super big update. Okay. One thing to note, with this one though, if you're using site styles, okay, by default, the utility classes are turned on. Okay. chances are, so one thing this update did is it split the utility classes into two, so you can kind of load half of them if you don't want to. Okay. This extra utility classes, I'm willing to bet most of you don't use them. They are turned on by default. Okay. But if you remove that, it removes about 66% of the CSS of the utility classes, and chances are you're not using them unless you're using any of the like SM colon W colon something. Like it's all those media query utility classes. Most people don't use those, and if you can turn those off, just go into site styles and turn them off here. I left them on by default purely because if someone is using them, I don't want to break their website, right? So while I split them up, they both are turned on. And if you're sure you're not using any utility classes at all, you can remove this one, okay? If you're 100% positive you're not using any utility classes, you could turn that off, okay? I recommend leaving this one on. It's actually quite small. It's quite tiny. Whereas this one, again, that's like a bulk of the utility class, the size of the code, that CSS is this extra classes. So I recommend turning that off if you know you're not using them. I'm willing to bet most people don't. Okay. 6.15. This gave us a couple new swatches in the swatch pack. Okay. Some scroll bar styling. Here, let's just quickly show you that. I actually had a question about that the other week. We go here. You'll see that here we can style the scroll bar. If you look at the scroll bar here, it's nice and styled. And there's also a protect stack, which lets you disable right click or disable. Here it is. It's right here. Like here, I can't select this text, right? Even though I'm trying to select it, you can't right click on it, right? So if you want to protect a particular part of your page, you could protect the whole page. I really dislike that. Like, I don't know. Just personally, I wouldn't like disable your entire page. You could do that with this swatch. I don't recommend it though. It's just a personal pet peeve of mine. Like, what's the like here I can select the text, but here I don't. Some people make it so you can't select or right click or do anything on the entire page. A little annoying. Because that also, removes some functionality. Like, if I want to, select this and actually do something good with it, like translate it or do, there's other stuff that the browser allows me to do that isn't me just copying your text, right? So anyway, pet peeve of mine that a lot of people will disable the entire page. And then 16 was, I added some caching in the theme for preview mode. So yeah, some nice updates as you saw with Foundation. Here, we're running out. Let's see, what was the next one? Google Maps actually got a cool update this year. I'll speed it up because I want to get to your favorites. Okay, guys, I really would like to get that. So hopefully you're typing those in the chat now. Map swap. So this feature here was added this year into the Google Maps stack. Okay, and allows you to, let's say, use case here is let's say you have multiple locations for a business. Okay, and you wanted to quickly tap on a location and load a new map in this viewer. Right. So it allows you to, here I'm just toggling between different types of maps, right? But you can, quickly toggle and swap out a map for a different one just with a click of a button, which is pretty cool. Okay. Let's look at a couple more here. I think it was Slot Machine 4.1. Oh, no. That was a cool update, but nothing to brag about. X-Ray. Okay. I know this is now if you have feeds files, okay, let me just show you. Let's go to X-Ray because it got a really big update too. While I was working on feeds files, I also updated X-Ray, and I shipped it as a free update, but it just makes X-Ray a little bit nicer to use. X-Ray isn't interactive like feeds files is, but I did ship some nice updates to it, so it works a little bit nicer. You can basically give it a file and you can list things out. nowhere near as close as powerful as feeds files, but it is for a quick and dirty solution. It works well, okay, for just listing out files in a directory. And let's look at, I forget what all the stuff I did in Total CMS this year. Okay. I shipped out 1.11, 1.12, and 1.13. Oh, wow. I got a lot of updates this year. We did the strip HTML macros this year. Okay. So if you are ever using a macro, okay, in putting that macro into, let's say, meta tags on the web page, and let's say you were using Hipwig for that text area, Hipwig generates HTML, and that would actually end up putting HTML inside your meta tag data. Okay, so what we did is we created similar macros as before. We just added strip HTML to them. So we added strip HTML to a bunch of macros so that you can actually make sure that the data that gets added to your meta tags doesn't contain any HTML. Okay. So that was a nice update. Let's see. 1.12. Oh, this was a big one. Here, I will actually point this one out because I think a lot of people don't realize it's there. Here, inside admin core, okay, there is a new setting here called throttle delay, and the default is 200 milliseconds. And what this does is, let's say, let me back up. Let me tell you why I developed this setting. Sometimes users will create an admin page, and instead of like creating separate pages, they create one page to manage everything. And they break it up into tabs or an accordion or something, right? But there could be like upwards of 1,000 CMS editable areas on one page. Now, when you load your Total CMS admin area, what it does is it queries the CMS for that data so that it can populate the admin page. And if you have 1,000 editable items on one page, yes, maybe they're broken into tabs or something like that, but it's still on page load, it has to go and query your system 1,000 times. And what was happening is that was overloading some, especially shared web servers. And it was causing, sometimes you'd load your admin page and not everything would load. Like some things would still be blank and you'd be like, what's going on? Well, it's because your server was overloaded. Like you sent too many requests. We sent too many requests at once. And your server just goes bleh, right? And puked. Okay. That's a technical term, by the way. And so what this throttle delay does is it actually adds a slight delay in between each request. Now, if you have 1,000 of them, delaying of 200 milliseconds, it could cause some delays, right? So the ultimate solution is if you have a huge admin page, you really should break it up, okay? But this setting at least made it so that we weren't killing your server. If you want it back to the old behavior, go ahead and set this to 0. By default, it is 200 milliseconds. So I remember it was a month or two ago, I think, someone was like, my admin page everything doesn't load super quick anymore. And a lot of times what happens is it's because of this, right? It's delaying 0.2 of a second, between each request. So if you know that you are responsibly adding things to your admin page and you don't have 1,000 of them, just go ahead and set that to 0 and you'll be back to the old behavior where everything gets sent at the same time on page load. Okay. So there we go. There's a good little tip there. Okay. And let's look at the last update was 13.0. What was that? Improved total loop. This one was the integration with Movingbox. Okay, so we added integrations with Movingbox. And then we got a bunch of other dot releases that have various bug fixes and whatnot. So there we go. That's all I had for updates. One thing that would have been cool, here, while you guys are adding in what your favorite, please go ahead right now, go ahead and add what your favorite release or update or light bulb moment or whatever of 2023 was. Put that in the chat now. And one thing I want to do is I'm going to go over to my YouTube channel and I'm going to look at the live streams and I'm going to look at what my favorite live streams were. Okay. I thought that would be fun. Let's go to videos. Let's go to live. Testing websites locally, I know that has been a game changer for some people. Okay, we did that a couple months ago using MAMP. And yeah, so that was a really good one. Testing websites locally. Let's see, Hangouts, moving boxes. This, I forgot about this moment in 2023 when my website got hacked. That was fun, right? And yeah, if you want all the details, check out that live stream. And I go through all the details of how I discovered it, what happened, how I resolved this situation. And yeah, so it was interesting. Someone hacked my Total CMS demo website. And it was because the admin area was completely open. Anyone can do anything they wanted. And yeah, they exploited some holes. So those holes have been fixed a long time ago. And yeah, you can no longer do it. But that was a fun couple weeks. Let's see. A lot of announcement stuff. Oh, advanced style text in Total CMS. That was a good one. If you're using Total CMS and then you want some super kind of advanced ways of getting, leveraging HipWig in amazing ways, definitely check out this live stream, the advanced style text in Total CMS. That was a good one. Okay. We launched Made for Stacks this year. Man, how did I not think of that? That is a huge win for this year. Made for Stacks launched, and we are now at, in less than a year, 622 add-ons on Made for Stacks. So super cool. We have I'm working with Davide. We're building a sister site to this for 2024 called madewithstacks.com. And that will be a great thing for next year. So yeah, Made with Stacks is coming. And the two sites will actually kind of work together a little bit. So yeah, that'll be fun. Can't believe I forgot that's a big win, madeforstacks.com. This image of the page speed one, that was a good one. Actually, I remember this one. We went over some really great, page speed tips and improvements, how to improve your image loads, your video load times, and all that jazz. If you are using feeds, this Twig live stream was great. Twig is the kind of the templating language for feeds, as well. It will also be the languaging template model for Total CMS 3. Okay, so learning Twig is a good thing. They're actually working on Twig version 4, which I'm keeping an eye on, and I'm actually conversing with the guy a little bit. Some things I would like to see added, so we can get those awesome things into Total CMS 3. Okay, so really cool stuff there. Fun with circles. That was a really cool one. That says 1 year. I'm not exactly sure what month that was, but if you haven't watched that one, watch that one. Because a lot of things on the web are squares, right? Or rounded rectangles. And that just talks about how do we make things circles, right? So check that one out. All right. Those were some of my favorite live streams of the year. Made for Stacks. We have a new developer, Stack developer this year. And so Stacks Weaver launched this year. So Josh, I'm sure you're all familiar with Josh. He launched this year. And I'm pretty sure Scott's been around since 22. But there, check out Scott's stuff. I know he's released some cool stuff this year. And of course, we have Stacks Basecamp that launched Cumbre this year, which is probably, one of the projects of the year. Definitely deal of the year when that was around. So definitely check out Cumbre. If you missed out on the deal, sorry. But it's still a great deal at $80. Saves you tons and tons of time. Chris, what's up with these zeros down here? Don't know what those are. I want to check that out. Okay. And here, I know Massimo released some stuff, right? rwpro.space. Does he have like a chronological thing here? The menus pack I know is new. I think he revamped the email templates pack. I don't remember. But yeah, some cool stuff here. I'm not exactly sure what he released this year. Pretty sure this menu pack is from this year though. So anyway, there we go. And then last but not least, we have Foundation Box, Doc Studio, and pretty sure Clio and Entree were shipped this year from Davide. Pretty sure those two. Was another one? I think that's it. I think Clio and Entree, maybe Rose as well. Oh yeah, Rose. So there we go. That was shipped in July. And soon. Maybe it was soon too. I don't remember Mercury. I don't remember which of these. I know it was these top three were definitely launched this year. And maybe soon. Maybe it was even Mercury. I don't remember now. Time flies, you know? Some great stuff there. Okay, let's go through your lists because I am super interested to hear that. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. That my favorite. Oh, I'm not sure, Sean, which one you said was your number one. Let's see. I look blurry now. Blah 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 blah. Olaf from Mexico. Let's see. Chris says his favorite live stream from the year was MAMP. Okay. Franco says, Franco said he didn't get the I'll check back to you on the April on the summit email. Franco, if you want to ping me on the community, you can do that, or shoot me an email. Make sure I don't forget. Okay. Embracing well-designed projects. So, Dave, two things actually. Embracing well-designed projects to then sell to clients, 3 TMS sites. Awesome. And then using ChatGPT to help me code. Okay, yeah. So that's actually probably a huge win for a lot of people in 23, right? Was using ChatGPT, right? So here's something fun. So Matthias Wolf, okay, if you're still on here, let me share my screen. Okay, so he asked a question on the community. And I told him the answer was ChatGPT. Okay. So here. No, wasn't this one. There we go. Okay. So he wants to have a page that displays the I guess his support page for his clients that he wants to display this information. Okay. I don't have a stack that does that. I don't know, it doesn't seem relatively useful to me, but I mean, this seems like a perfect example of what we use ChatGPT for, right? So here, what I would do is let's launch. So I use a Mac app called Mac GPT. Just so it's like, yeah, it just loads the web interface. It actually has a native chat client as well. But let's just go into here, say, I need some JS that will JS HTML that will nicely display the following information about the website visitor. We need the browser version, the name and version of the browser, the operating system and its version, I also need to know if Java. Well, if JavaScript is disabled, then none of this will work because all of this has to be JavaScript. So I can't imagine people disabling JavaScript nowadays. If JavaScript and cookies are enabled. Okay, there we go. Now, so in order to do this, right, I know while this is building out its information, okay, it's using what's called the user agent information. I believe let's see. Interesting. All right. If you're curious, I'm using GPT-4, which if you're not using GPT-4, you're probably going to have different information here, right? But essentially, here we go. Basically, you would, let's go ahead and I'm going to take this. We're going to copy that. Now let's go into my sandbox project. I don't need this. Don't need this. All right. And I'm just going to chuck in an HTML stack. Gonna paste that in there. Okay, and then we're gonna do a JavaScript stack. Put that below it. And we're gonna copy that code. All right, let's preview. Interesting. Well, it says browser name Netscape. It said that we're on a Mac OS. Okay, it's not perfect. Okay, it's not perfect. The operating system is Mac OS. Version is Macintosh. But I guess you could probably continue to work with GPT on getting the information. I actually didn't read this explanation either. So there could be some information in there. But yeah. Chances are, I think he's using this thing, browsercheck.nl. What they're doing is they're sniffing, the user agent string of a browser, and they probably have a mapping, like a little database that has all the possible, user agents for Safari with this version of OS, right? So yeah, Netscape, exactly. Funny. All right, went off on a little side tangent there. But I definitely think ChatGPT was definitely a winner this year for a lot of people, including myself. Like small little scripts like that, like why think about it? Just build it. Now that one wasn't perfect, but there we go. But yeah, I know a lot of people that were, little tiny things that are like, I need to do this, right? I need to do that, right? And it's like, what's the CSS to do this, right? Or JavaScript to do that. GPT is really good at that. And as you see, I mean, you just copy the code, paste it into RapidWeaver and see what it does, right? Now, if this is something you need to support, and I wouldn't recommend necessarily building a stack, a sellable product with GPT if you don't know how to code, because then you're going to have problems like debugging it and troubleshooting it and supporting your customers, okay? But definitely awesome. I think GPT, especially version 4, I pay for it proudly because I get a lot of value from it. Okay. Good. So good one, Dave. I know Dave also. He kind of got pushed into the full-time freelancer realm already late this year. So good luck to you, Dave, and hope your 2024 is awesome. So good job. Let's see. Erwin says his favor was mine and Joshua's setup with Git. Circumstance that prompted the video was less fortunate. Yeah. Yeah, actually because I in my hacked video, because I use Git to publish my website, it kind of saved my behind. Like I could easily clean things up. So yeah, I know Josh has kind of refined his workflow a little bit. It was a little bit different than what I did. And probably within the next year, maybe I'll rethink mine, maybe do a tutorial on it or something like that, or another live stream. Okay. The whole feeds pack. Oh, so Sean says the whole feeds package is his favorite. Yeah, it's just powerful. People have been doing such amazing stuff with feeds this year. Um, it's pretty mind blowing and integrating with all kinds of stuff. Databases, because I know a lot of people have been wanting database stuff for years, and I think feeds really is like the ultimate package for displaying data from a database. It's really good. Okay. So good. Hey, were there any other things? What were your favorite things? Maybe you'll create a post on Weaver Space and we could just talk about what our favorite things of 2023 were. So yeah. 2024. What's happening? So I'm sure you guys already know the next Weaver Space Summit is coming in April. So April 5th to the 7th. I already have, I think, 9 speakers lined up already. So we haven't ironed out exactly what all the talks are, but we have 9 speakers. So we do have a few spots still available if you want to speak. I always love having new speakers and new users coming in and giving out your experiences. So if you feel you have something, everybody, all of you here have something to share. Okay. We all have different experiences and different knowledges. And you definitely have something to share that other people in the community want to hear. Okay. So it's not if you're brave enough to step up to the plate and share your experiences and teach others, what you have learned, no matter your experience level. Okay. I would appreciate it. Shoot me a note. I'm happy to help you come up with a great topic and help you refine what you can speak about. Okay. Because I think everyone has something to share to everyone. Okay. So please feel free to let me know. And also, this year I'm trying to think about, actually I spent quite a bit of time this morning in the shower thinking about what is going to be like. I always like to have one talk that is like completely outside the realm of web design, right? And trying to come up with what that one talk would be. So I have a couple ideas, but I'd like to hear if you guys got any other ideas, shoot me an email. I would appreciate that. Okay, so of course you do know Isaiah is going to be giving a talk or two at the summit as well, and he will be showing off some awesome stuff. Will it be something that we can buy at the summit? I don't know yet. Okay. I don't know that. Hopefully, maybe beta, alpha. I don't know. But definitely, finally, I'm glad other people, the world will be able to see some awesome stuff. So, and hopefully get our hands on it. Okay. After that, we got some other cool stuff coming this year. I already mentioned Made with Stacks. So working on madewithstacks.com. Which will be a gallery of your websites. So, it'll be a gallery where you can submit your websites and you can kind of say what products you used. So then, you can kind of get an idea of what can be done with Foundation and TARDIS or, something like that, right? So we can kind of list the products and maybe not all the products because it would be tough to list every product used throughout every, the entire web page or website. But come up with that idea. I got a couple other projects I'm working on. So not ready to reveal one of them. Okay. Obviously Total CMS 3 is going to be worked on. So I really, 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 really wanted to ship Total CMS 3 this year and it didn't happen. I shipped a ton of other products though. Right. And, oh yeah, I see Matthias says Total CMS 3. I'll give you guys a current kind of status of what Total CMS 3 is. So this year I've finished like all of the design aspects of the admin pages, like what the forms are going to look like. You've probably seen I've given out links and URLs to kind of show you the smart fields that it has. The API and generation of all the data is actually I think it's shippable. It's done. Like I have more ideas that I want, things I want to do, but I have everything that I had planned on doing for launch. Okay. Um, what I'm currently working on, I admit I haven't worked on it since probably September. Okay. Is the automated admin center, right? Or the admin pages. So from talking to users, one thing that stops some people from using Total CMS for all of their websites or all their client sites is that you have to build out the admin pages. And that can be a lot of work. I don't think it's hard work, but some people just see it as unnecessary work. Because other CMSs out there that shall not be mentioned, right? That aren't even in our community life cycle, have, while completely hideous and ugly and unmanageable, they have done for you admin areas, right? So I don't know. I think there's a lot of other drawbacks to WordPress and other things that I find it completely unattractive. But I take point that having the ability to have some sort of pre-done for you admin area would make a huge benefit to the product. Now, I don't plan on getting rid of. You can still create your entire custom admin backend. That will not change because I think that is extremely valuable. I know some customers, you guys have made some really amazing backends for your clients that make it look completely custom and premium, and you're able to charge your customers for that premium. Having like a custom backend for your clients is huge. Okay. And it definitely makes you look more professional. Okay. Rather than having a hideous, ugly, horrible to use backend that sends you notifications about updates and stuff like that just scare your customers away. Right. And they don't want to go into it. It's not nice to use. So I want something that is going to be nice to use. It's kind of done for you. Obviously, you want to have full control over the look and feel of it because it's done for you. Okay. But it's a great starting point. So that's what I'm currently working on. Once I get that part done, I think we'll be able to start some sort of testing. Okay. Some sort of external testing, right? Not just me. So we'll see. I'm going to get that done. And then once there's a lot of other things we need to make sure we get done, but the content, I already have content working, right? You could display content from the CMS. I haven't stackified everything yet. Now remember, Total CMS 3 will be a standalone product. It won't require stacks. It will definitely work with stacks, but it's not going to require stacks any longer. That will expand Total CMS's user base as well, hopefully, moving forward. Obviously, day one, I'm going to be, it will be about stacks, right? Because that's a big thing I'm a part, but I want to try to expand our horizons, maybe even help use that to help build the stacks community as well. Because I love stacks. I think it's amazing. So this will be another way of getting people in. Smooth upgrade from Total CMS 2 would be fine. Preaching the choir. Yeah, my clients love the back end of Total CMS. Yep, exactly. So upgrading from Total CMS 1 to Total CMS 3. Your data will be migratable. Okay. Now you won't have to redesign your entire site, but you're going to have to rebuild some parts of it. Okay. It's not quite a foundation to foundation 6 jump. Okay. Where that was like, you have to rebuild a site. Okay. You're not going to have to do that with Total CMS because Total CMS, in an ideal world, Total CMS just manages your data, right? It doesn't have much to do with your design. A little bit. I mean, there's like the blog list and stuff like that. That definitely is a part of the design, right? But replicating, let's say, your blog list with something like feeds or whatever I come up with for Total CMS 3, um, again, that's replicating maybe some rebuilding parts of a web page or integrating new ways of integrating, right? Um, so I don't want to say there's going to be a zero work from your side, but it's not a complete redesign either. Okay. But I will guarantee that I can migrate the data, right? So you're not going to lose any data. We'll move everything over to the new, and it'll be a copy, right? So it'll leave all your existing CMS data intact, and then it will create a copy of it for version 3, right? So that way we're not modifying anything, and breaking, existing site, right? So maybe yeah. I think that'll be the best approach. Okay. Okay. Other things for 2024. Man, I got one big thing outside of Total CMS 3 made with Stacks and the Summit. Those are things that are definitely happening. Hopefully sooner. They're happening relatively soon in the year. I have another one that's going to happen after Stacks launch. That's going to be fun, I think. Right. It's a big project that will take probably more than a year to do. But I have someone who's going to be helping me to do that. And we'll be trickling over a year or two, getting it all done. So that'll be fun. It's going to be a fun project. And then another thing, while I said that, popped it into my brain. Oh man, it just left. Oh, so another thing I will be doing is, so if you're curious on Stacks Pro theme migration, right? So prior to any of you getting Stacks Pro, I'll make sure that I ship an update to Foundation 6 that will contain a Foundation 6 theme that will work in Stacks Pro. Okay. And you know what? I know there are a ton of Foundation 1 sites still out there. You won't have to twist my arm too hard to make a Foundation 1 theme that will work in Stacks Pro. I didn't even think about that until right this very second when I was talking. So I could probably make that happen too, because I know a lot of you have Foundation 1 sites. And we want to move as soon as possible to Stacks Pro, to the new fangled stuff, right? So I could be convinced pretty easily to do that. And stuff like, Portal also has a theme, so all that stuff will make migratable. Obviously, all your stacks will migrate seamlessly to Stacks Pro, so you won't have any issues migrating all of your existing stacks to Stacks Pro. Okay, so that's exciting. Other migration questions. There are some question marks in terms of if you're using style text. There will be some sort of, I don't know. I don't want to, there will be some sort of migration that has to happen. Will all your formatting move over? I don't know. I don't personally use any of the style text. I haven't for years because I really dislike the HTML that it outputs. Okay. So if you're using the default text stack, or there is the ability for a third-party stack to actually have a style text box. Again, I never use those. I tend to stick with Markdown or plain text, and then I recommend that. So if you are using style text right now, in any of your stacks pages, I recommend stop. Don't use that. And try to learn how to create those styles in other ways. Okay, better ways. Learn Markdown. It's not scary. It's pretty simple. Just do paragraphs and headers and bullet lists. Really, really easy. Okay, you don't need to learn all the advanced stuff. For all the advanced stuff, even I have to look it up still. But like creating headers, paragraphs of text, making things bold and italic, adding links. It's really, really simple. Okay. Don't be scared of it. It's pretty good. Although I do know that there's I don't want to talk about that. Never mind. I can't mention any of that. So, um, are you referring to Paragraph Pro stacks by chance? Paragraph Pro uses Markdown, from what I understand. So, you should be good with Paragraph Pro. I don't believe it uses style text. Here, I'll show you what style text is. Go ahead. All right. Let's just close this. All right. Let's go to, I think it's the, yeah. All right. So if you add in a default text stack, okay, if you edit and you see bold, italic, text alignment and font buttons, if you see this toolbar, you are in a style text box. Okay. And I do not know what of this formatting will be carryoverable, if that's convertible, okay, into Stacks Pro. So this style text view is something that it's subclassed by RapidWeaver. It's maintained by RapidWeaver. The code it outputs is done by RapidWeaver. Stacks Pro will have its own thing that hopefully is better. But this particular style text component is a RapidWeaver thing. So while it will, the content won't be lost, some of your styles in the conversion to Stacks Pro might not be able to be moved over. I don't know. It's just a word of caution. I don't feel like you should be using style text at all. As I've said earlier, I haven't used style text for years because the code that it generates is horrible. It really is bad. Okay, it makes it so like if you try to move to a proper way, which is like your swatch, the way swatches work, like swatches won't override style text stuff. Like just really bad. So use either Markdown, which is obviously Markdown. You can use HTML, which would just be plain text. Okay, or obviously if you're using Foundation 6, go ahead and use the text stack, which as you see is just Markdown. And so yeah, there we go. I recommend the text stack. Okay. Also, if you're using my starter pack, I think I call it text in there. Oops, that's not the starter pack. This one's the starter pack. Yeah, just use text in here. As you see that, it's effectively the same as the Foundation 6 text stack. Okay. So there we go. And where I was going with that is another thing. Okay. I'll leak some exciting information. Okay. So I know in the Stacks world, pretty much almost everyone's using a framework based theme. Okay. So either Foundation or Source or Foundry, or I think I'm missing UIKit, right? Maybe there's another one out there. Okay. I think there's Platform, something like that. I don't think that one's too widely used, but basically, it's the blank slate theme. Okay. Where you are responsible as a designer to build everything, the entire web page. Yes, one more thing, Scott. And while that is awesome, and that's the way I would prefer it too, right? Sometimes we just want to start from a theme, right? And the RapidWeaver theme ecosystem has kind of died over the years. Because their theme API it sucks. Okay. And I think something like Foundation, the flexibility that we have now with all the Foundation stacks is just second to none, right? Now, over the years, there have been a lot of extremely talented theme designers from on RapidWeaver. Okay. And we've lost a couple over the years. And a big one is Nick Cates. And as you know, I did take over all of Nick Cates' stacks. Now, what I haven't publicly said is I have also taken over all of his themes. And one thing I want to do after Stacks Pro ships is I don't know if I can do all of them, but I am going to be reshipping Nick Cates themes for Stacks Pro. Now, I'm also going to do some interesting other things because I think I want a theme with the power of Foundation, right? So I'm going to make them Foundation 6 compatible, right? So you'll still be able to, if you're not required to have Foundation, they'll work without Foundation, but if you have it, you'll have a much bigger level of customizability than you would without them. So that way you can use it as a theme as a starting point. You probably won't be able to customize all of the theme, right? I don't know how that's going to exactly work yet, right? But I am going to be making shipping themes. I have my own designs. I've acquired, as I said, the entire Nick Cates catalog minus, I think, 2 themes, Aspen and another one that were acquired by Real Mac. Okay. But outside of that, his entire catalog, I will be reshipping hopefully all of Stacks Pro versions of all themes. So that'll be fun. So we can start using themes again. And they'll all be compatible with Foundation 6. So you can use all the Foundation 6 stacks in them. And I think that'll be exciting. I think it'll be a new era of cool web design using Foundation and Foundation powered themes. I think it'll be a really cool thing. So there we go. That's kind of my there. You got a big, huge leak today. I hadn't really told many people that. There are a couple individuals that knew, but yeah, it's my first time I've publicly said that I'm going to be doing that, and I've taken over all of Nick Cates' themes, so that's exciting. So yeah, I look forward to that. Any other comments? Let's see. Before I leave, Matthias, I see you like that the Nick Cates stuff. Cool platform. Scribe uses Markdown. Oh, Paragraph Pro does use style text. Okay. Scribe was the one that uses Markdown. Yeah, Scribe was like the next Paragraph Pro sort of stack. So yeah, I'd recommend don't use Paragraph Pro then. Obviously keep it in your library so that any existing stack or sites that use it doesn't break. But yeah, I wouldn't use Paragraph Pro anymore. Scribe uses Markdown, use that or use the text stack. Okay. Cool. Sweet, guys. I'm looking super excited. You need the Strata theme with F6 version. Oh yeah, Strata, huh? Okay. I don't remember what Strata was. I'll look into it, but I know I have it. So there we go. Cool. Thank you, guys. I hope you had a wonderful holiday with your families this year. Hope you had a great 2023 and you enjoyed all the awesome stuff that I showed off today. Yeah, go get your summit tickets April 5th to the 7th of next year. Okay, don't miss out. It's going to be a great time. 3 days, Friday through Sunday, or if you're in Australia, it will be Saturday through Monday. Okay, because yeah, you guys are down under. You're always upside down. So, yep, if you're down under, it'll be Saturday to Monday. Everyone else, it'll be sometime throughout the day on Friday through Sunday. Same times. I think the time slots that I've done in previous years, I'm going to do the same time slots. Just seems to be the best slot that works around the globe. Okay. I know it's super late for some of you, it's super early for others. And others it's just right. So, yeah, it, I think is the best time slot for everyone around the world. They'll all be recorded. I do have, okay. I don't want to announce that either. I do have another top secret project that will be revealed before the summit. Another thing I'm working on. It's closely tied to the summit. Okay. So anyway, you'll see with that. Oh, you'll be on a cruise with the grandkids. Dave, it's okay. You can, your grandkids want to learn web design. What else are you going to do sitting on the cruise ship by the pool? Come on, well, attend the summit, man. Anyway, have fun, Dave. Sorry, we'll miss you. So anyway, everyone have a great new year coming up. We will have a hangout on Friday as well. If you want to join in and chit chat some more, maybe we can leak some more private information there on the hangouts. But Sweet. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Happy New Year. Bye.